It's your boy Gonzi, and we on All Mamas. You know what it is. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Your boy got to come with a little story time with Gonz. All right? Let's get it. So we going to go way back. We talking about 2008 when my brother was still in AAA with the River Cats, Oakland. He know what I'm talking about, in Cali. So this is how we going to start the story off. I never forget, I was living at the Moors right here by American High School. I was living at the Moors. I was, at the time when my baby mama, I had my son already, and I think she was pregnant. Yeah, she was pregnant at the time. And I end up getting a phone call. It's half of the season in AAA. Mind you, I watch how my brother starts. He was having an all right season. You know what I mean? Not one of his best, but an all right season, I remember. And I get a call, and it's my brother, you know. He just starts talking to me. He starts telling me, how, he's missing back home, and that, he's been in a suitcase since he was 18, which is true. He when he got drafted out of high school, he was gone already at 18, all over the place. So I remember he was telling me his season was going all right, but he was only, at the time, he was 22 years old. I was 21. He's in AAA already. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was still young, already past all the minors. He's one call away. And he was giving me this, like, he's getting bored. He misses home, and that I have a family, and he's still, nobody goes to see him, because at the time we didn't have money. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. We didn't have money. We didn't come from money, so we didn't have the money to go fly to go see him every time he wanted us to go see him and stuff. So I remember he tells us, well, not us. He's on the phone with me, and he tells me, I miss home, and I'm thinking about hanging it up. I'm thinking about, just quitting. And I'm like, what? Yo, you're one call away from the big leagues. Like, you know what I mean? This could change your life forever. Like, this is what you worked hard for. Well, we worked hard for, because I did too. But, my God took me in a different path. But I never forget, he tells me, bro, but you're not out here. You're not the one. I'm by myself. And I was on some, like, you know what? Fuck this. I can't let this happen. Like, I don't know what happened to me that day that I told him. I didn't even discuss it with my baby mama at the time. I just, like, I was on the phone, and I said, you know what? If I fly up there, would you stay? Like, would you continue playing? Like, would you not quit? And he told me, what? He said, Gonzi, if you fly up here tomorrow, I promise you I'll stay and I'll play, because I have a family, family member to be here with me. And I said, you know what? If that's what it takes, then you know what? I'll get a job over there, and I'll send money back home. It is what it is. But I believe in my brother. Like, I bet on my brother. I believed in him. So I never forget, I hang up the phone. Obviously a big argument, because it wasn't discussed. It was just like, yo, I'm leaving tomorrow. And then I never forgot, I call my cousin, my blood cousin, Danny. It's my little cousin, Danny. And I tell him, hey, listen, my brother just told me this, this, and this. Are you willing to fly up with me too? Like, you know what I mean? Let's go. And he was, I remember he had a job. He was like in aviation. He had a good job, actually. He was in aviation, and he was making good money. And I told him, look, Danny, come up with me. I don't want to go by myself, and it's with my brother. Let's support him, this and that. And, like, obviously my cousin believed in him too, because we knew the talent that my brother was. We knew since we were kids. So what did my cousin do? He said, fuck it. Let's fly. He gave up his job. I never forget. We fly up the next day. We end up going to Sacramento. My brother lives in a 1-1. Fucking, we're sleeping on air mattresses. I promise you. Me and my cousin on a mattress, air mattress, and then my brother on an air mattress. Mind you, this is a star pitcher in AAA at the time. And he's walking back and forth from the fields, you know what I mean? Like, because it wasn't that far. He would go back and forth walking. He ends up, obviously, we went to every start of his. His last 5 starts, he goes 5-0, dominates. So they start asking him what changed. He said, obviously, my family being here changes, the way I feel. I'm very happy. I feel comfortable now. My brother's here, my cousin. But obviously, the goal of us being up there was we wanted him to be in the major leagues. He deserved to be in the major leagues. He was balling. So I know that there was 2 weeks left in the season. I never forget, there was 2 weeks left in the season. And he's already saying, look, go back home. I hadn't seen my kids. I hadn't seen my son. I was just FaceTiming him all the time. But it's been like 2.5 months. So he was like, listen, go home. Go see your kids, whatever, your son at the time, she was still pregnant. Go home 2 weeks earlier because, I have one more start and then I'm going home. I'm packing. He was still in AAA. So he gives me all his clothes. I get all my clothes, whatever. I end up packing, taking everything. I go home. Mind you, I was there basically 3 months. I go home. I think this I promise you, the very next day or at night, I think it was at nighttime, I was at the movies. Yeah, I was at the movies. I'm in the movies, back at home, and I get a phone call, and the phone call's from my brother. I see it's my brother. It's the very next night, the nighttime. I'm in the theater. I'm like, oh shit! So I pick up with the silent, like, hello, yeah, hold on, and I go outside. I go to the hallway, by the hallway in the outside of the movie theater, and he's talking to me, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, did you take, my luggage? And I'm like, Gio, you fucking packed the luggage for me. You told me to take the luggage. Of course, I took the luggage. I'm like, I took the luggage, sorry. And he's like, oh, okay, well, in that luggage, my passport is there. I'm like, okay, and? He goes, I need my passport. I'm like, Gio, you don't need a fucking passport to go from Sacramento to Miami. Like, the fuck are you talking about? And then he starts like on the slow, like, well, that's the problem. I'm not going to Miami. I'm going to Toronto. And I'm like, why the fuck would you go to Toronto? Who the fuck do you know in Toronto? Why would you go to Toronto? He's like, well, your brother's going to be in the big leagues. I just got called up. And I'm here going, obviously, I'm shocked because I don't believe it. I'm like, nah. You're talking about the very next day I leave. He gets the call. And he's telling me it's to Toronto. Mind you, there's 30 teams. And the one team that you have to go with a passport is Toronto. That's the one that he gets called up to. So I'm like, oh my God, what do we do? So he's going to start the very next day. So now I have to take a fucking flight to meet him halfway in North Carolina. He goes to North Carolina. We have to give him the passport. Hey, congrats, blah, blah, quick. Congrats, crying, And he ends up leaving to Toronto. I never forget that day. It was like if it was yesterday. It was one of the most exciting, but like you still feel like scared because your brother's still 22, gonna be the bigs. Like he's starting the very next day. Obviously, we didn't have the money to go fly. I couldn't go. My mom went. My mom and dad went to go see him in Toronto. It was one of the craziest fucking. I watched that game and I still get shocked. His first strikeout was David Erskine or whatever, baller. And then his first home run was Rod Barajas. Wow, that shit brings me chills. What a game. But that's a crazy story that I remember. I hope you like it. And catch you soon on Mama's Story Time with Gonz. Let's get it.